I've noticed a lot recently, especially with new clients coming into the gym, that everybody wants to feel motivated to change their life through fitness and through a consistent gym routine. But 8 hours of sitting in a chair is leaving everybody tight and weak, and that just diminishes the motivation that you once had to transform your life with movement and fitness in the gym. And I felt that with myself, to be honest. And when I do, these are the 4 exercises that I do regularly to help me feel more comfortable when I have to sit in a chair and do work, but also keeps me motivated to come back to the gym and feel agile, strong, and motivated to push myself inside the walls of the gym. So the first of these 4 exercises is going to be the reverse fly. So I like to do this on a bench because it just allows you to focus more on the activation of your upper back rather than holding a parallel to the ground position, which a lot of people can struggle to get into. That it just makes it much easier if you can just lay down and you can just focus on the work that you actually want to be doing. So the reason for this, we spend a lot of our day hunched forwards, and this communicates to the brain, because your brain's always reading your body, that you're defeated. When you're in this position, this is the position that you tend to be in when you're injured, when you're embarrassed, when you lose a fight, or when you just feel defeated. You curl up into this position and you have your head down. And when you're in the opposite position, it tells your brain the opposite and actually makes you feel more confident and gives you more energy to go and do the things that you want to do. So we want to correct that by pulling back our shoulders, and so we can feel more confident and have more energy. Top tip actually is, if you ever feel nervous, ever feel scared of a situation, or you just don't feel very confident in yourself, if you stand up with good posture, chest up, shoulders back, you will trick your brain into thinking that you're in control and that you are actually confident enough to deal with the situation. I always use that when during workouts, so I feel really tired and I feel like I'm really not looking forward to the next whatever is coming up next, and I just force myself to stand up with chest up, shoulders back, and it gives me more energy. It feels like, okay, it's not as hard as it actually is. And when I do hunch forward, it makes it feel like it's much harder than maybe it should be. But anyway, so a lot of our day is spent hunching forward like this, which makes the upper back very weak, and we want to correct that by strengthening the muscles of the upper back, which are your mid and lower traps and your rotator cuffs. These help pull your shoulders back and give you good posture. So I like to do this with the reverse fly on the bench, just give you a little bit more support when you're pulling up and coming out wide. What you want to do when you do this one is roll back through your shoulders. So before you lift the weight, think about rolling back and pulling the weights out wide, squeezing your upper back as hard as you can, and then coming back down, keeping just a soft bend in your elbow, but no movement from your elbow. Weirdly enough, a lot of people feel this in their triceps if they're doing it incorrectly. That's just because they got their elbows bent too much and they're almost trying to lift up and push it out. Keep your arms at the same angle and you're just coming out wide, getting as high as you can and squeezing your upper back. The second exercise that I do regularly for a similar reason is going to be the hip thrust. So the hip thrust, so our glutes are another muscle that becomes very weak and inactive from prolonged sitting. So if you spend a lot of time at this position, the glutes become very weak, and then when you go to the opposite position, which is standing, it makes you feel tightness in your hamstrings and in your lower back, which have to compensate for the inactive glute muscles. So when we're trying to activate our glutes, or when we're doing this exercise, we're not trying to strengthen our glutes, but rather activate them. So I do actually like to do this one with a band around the knees and just focus on tucking in the belly button and maintaining a tilted pelvis to help squeeze your glutes before you even lift, and then hold in the top position. You want to hold for sets of anywhere to 5 to 15 seconds for each rep, and go for about anywhere from 5 to 15 reps for each set. So that's going to really focus on activating those muscles, not necessarily strengthening. You might have strong glutes, but they might just be inactive. So you don't need to add any weight to this one just yet. You can, if you've done that for a while, you can really feel your glutes working if you want to make it a bit harder. But for the beginning, I'd really focus on just holding the top position and focus on pushing the knees out and bringing that mind muscle connection back to your glutes so they can fire and they can do their job at the right time. Then next, I spoke about this one before, it's going to be the back extension. So this exercise really helped me cure my back pain that I dealt with for almost 2 years. So again, because we spend so much of our day sitting in this position, the muscles of our back become very weak and inactive. So doing a prone back extension where you're laying flat on your front and you're trying to lift as much of your upper body off the floor as you can, you're going to train the erector spinae, which is the muscle that runs the length of your spine, which really helps build some strength and stability, and it helps reduce the risk of injuring your back or currently dealing with an achy back from when you're sitting. I'm sure you've all experienced long hours sitting in a chair, and after being in this position when your back arched like this, you start to feel a little bit achy along those muscles, and that's because it's just been lengthened for so long and it's become quite weak. When you can strengthen that, you can sit with better posture for longer, and even when you do eventually slouch into that position, because most people will, you won't feel the discomfort as potent as you would otherwise. Then after that, it's going to be the side plank. So it's important to do unilateral work, which is where you're on one side, where you work one side of your body at a time. And when we're sitting down, we often lean on one side, or we favor one side. Even when we're standing, we might always lean to one side or the other. So it's good to help strengthen your core, strengthen your shoulders, and strengthen one side of your body at a time so it's matched, so it's even. A common issue with people who sit a long time, they get scoliosis, which is the twisting of the spine because they excessively lean on one side, so the body kind of all twists to one side there, whereas you want to be as symmetrical as possible. So the side plank, you want to begin with your elbow right underneath your shoulder, and you're going to stack your feet on top of each other, and then you're trying to lift your hips as high as possible, pulling this shoulder back, pulling the top shoulder back with your chest facing forward, and you're just going to hold here from anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes on both sides for anywhere from 5 to one set or 20 sets. Just you want to work on building that up to really build the strength and stability on either side of your body. So they're the 4 main exercises that I would do regularly to help reduce the amount of pain and discomfort I feel in my body on a daily basis, and it also keeps me motivated and keeps me feeling fit and agile and strong to come back into the gym and really push myself. There's one final bonus movement that I want to share with you, which is very complicated and most of you won't be able to do it, but it is a good target to strive for, because if you can do this movement, you will hold on to functional competence for so much longer than anybody else who can't do this movement would, and it is the ultimate expression of your joints in their full range of motion and your ability to stabilize yourself in the end ranges of motion. So I'm going to demonstrate this one with just an empty light barbell, very small barbell. So this is going to be the overhead squat. So you don't need to do this with a lot of weight until you can really build the strength and stability for that. But what you're going to do is you're going to take the barbell up overhead. You can start with it on the back of your shoulders. You're going to press overhead, get your feet into a squat stance, and then you're just going to sit back and you're going to squat down, keeping tension throughout your entire body, keeping that bar pressed up and get into your full range of motion until your hips pass the height of your knees, and then you're going to stand back up. Again, most people won't be able to do that. That's a very complex very advanced movement, but it's one that you can strive for. If you can do that, you are going to have so much more confidence in the gym, so much more confidence in your body, in reducing the risk of injury, and so much strength and stability throughout your entire body that you can get away with prolonged sitting, poor movement habits, or the occasional trip up when you might otherwise injure yourself if you didn't have that strength and stability in your full range of motion. Now the progressions in the overhead squat is going to give you so much more fitness and so much more benefits in your life than any progression in adding weights onto a more traditional back squat. A overhead squat with just an empty barbell is so much more beneficial than having a 150 kilo back squat. So if you want to really hold on to functional competence and strength and stability throughout your entire body and reduce the risk of aches and pains, you should really work on building up to doing the overhead squat. And this just starts with first being able to do a traditional air squat with no discomfort. You should be able to get into this bottom position, get your hips below your knees, and keep your feet flat on the ground. Only then you can start focusing on opening up your thoracic spine and getting those hands up overhead and squatting while keeping a nice upright posture with your shoulders externally rotated at the same time. So you don't need to do that one today, but that is just something you can aim for to help hold on to the strength and stability throughout your life, and so you can really push yourself in the gym to have full capacity to use your joints through the full range of motion and have true strength and stability throughout your entire body. Now, if you go away and you do these movements, I want you to come back and comment below if you felt. I want you to come back and comment below the benefits that you felt from doing them afterwards. If you felt you had better posture, if you felt more strong and more comfortable when you were doing the other exercises inside the gym. And if you don't been doing them regularly, I want you to comment below what you've been, how they've improved your mood and how your body moves long term. And if you don't want to do it, send this video to someone else so they can do it and comment below.